Let's go! Legend! 1, 2, 3, go!
Hi, welcome to the Comic Con Community Podcast. My name's Will, and today joining me, I've got Tai Tiger, who is the owner of the Three Ragner Bros. Hello, Tai.
You alright, mate? How you doing?
How's it going? Very good, thanks. Very good. Are you?
Yeah, not too bad.
Excellent. So before we jump into it, Tai is a content creator and he manages the Three Ragner Bros, who are, well, I'll let you explain what they are, Tai.
So the Three Ragner Bros is a studio where three content creators kind of came together, and we started off making audio dramas, which people can find and listen to. But we now also make different types of content, diving into different types of fandoms: Marvel, DC, Power Rangers. Obviously, that's in the name. Video games and anime, and we do your usual geeky sort of content, you know, top 5 of this, ranking that, you know, that sort of thing, with some extra members thrown in the mix as well now. And yeah, we're just massive geeks, basically.
Excellent. Well, you're in the right place then.
Yeah.
It sounds like you've got quite a few different things on the go. So what's your primary focus at the moment? Do you have like a sorry, nearly just choked. Do you have like a main one, or do they all take up the same amount of time? Is it?
Yeah, they all kind of. I think I focus on everything. The Three Ragner Bros, I think, take up a lot of my time because I'm what we dub the manager, air quote. I'll air quote that. Because we didn't start off making content. Really, it was mostly the audio dramas that we focused on. That's kind of how we started off the studio. And when we started making content, out of the three of us, I'm the one that has the most experience, the most dedication, and the most time, to be fair. So I kind of piped up and went, well, if you boys are willing to listen to what I have to say, then I don't mind kind of taking it up. And so, like, for example, we upload every Tuesday on Fringe Bros Studios YouTube channel, and I will give prompts out to everybody. So, for example, I will give the Corner Stranger, who, you know, I will say to him, okay, come up with your top 3 favorite Spider-Man villains. And then he's now got to think of that. And then we'll record. I'll also have my 3, and then that will give you like a top 6, if you will. And so I've got to do that each week. I've also got to edit the videos and everything. So, yeah, it does take a lot. We're also on TikTok too, so you have to make shorts and stuff for YouTube and TikTok. So, yeah, there's a lot to the Three Ragner Bros. I think I don't think there's not a day where I don't do something for the Three Ragner Bros now at some point or another.
It takes over. It slowly takes over.
Yeah, it definitely does, yeah.
So, of course, there's yourself, and then there's the Red Cornish Ranger, Mark, who we had on the podcast a few weeks ago.
Yep.
Who's the third?
The third one is Cosplay Dude 637, or Willie's the actual name. He's the oldest one out of us 3. He's mostly known for his cosplay, and he's got like 70 something characters he cosplays now, with all different types of fandoms and stuff. He's the American out of us 3, because I'm originally from Devon, obviously Mark's from Cornwall, and then Willie's our American. And yeah, he's our third member. Well, technically he's our first if you want to go down age-wise, because he's the older one of the group.
Yeah. Right. And how did you all meet? Was it through a Power Rangers group, or?
So we actually met because of a podcast, oddly enough, called Zeo to Hero, playing on the words of Power Rangers Zeo, and obviously Zero to Hero, so Zeo to Hero. And so I found them actually through following Mark on TikTok. I first joined TikTok, and I found, because it uses your location and stuff, then you can do that. Yeah. And I found Mark. I was like, oh, cool, a guy who's made his own Ranger. I'll give him a follow type thing. And he was talking about the Zeo to Hero podcast, actually mentioned him by name. I thought that was really cool. And then a couple weeks later, he actually was a guest on there. And through that, I found the Zeo to Hero podcast. Billy's really cool. He's actually a part of the Three Ragner Bros Studios extra members now, which is awesome.
Oh,
so he was doing a video where he was saying, hey, if you make content and you're a fan of Power Rangers, hit me up and be a guest on my podcast. So that's exactly what I did. I was like, hey, I love Power Rangers. I make content. So because we were guests, we got to join their Discord server. They had like a guest Discord server for their like guests they had, kind of like a community for like Power Rangers, basically, Power Ranger fans. And through that, I met Cosplay Dude. And it actually started because Cosplay Dude made audio dramas, He has an audio drama where he's got the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, and he's kind of like done a sequel to that. So it's the original 6 Rangers. They're all like adults now. They've all got like, you know, families going on and stuff, new powers and things. And he wanted to bring Mark's character, the Red Cornish Ranger, into it. And so that was Mark's first time voice acting. That was really cool.
Wow.
So we became friends over audio dramas, me and Cosplay Dude, because I like writing stories too. And we kind of just brought the Red Cornish Ranger to life for our audio dramas, which was a lot of fun. And we kind of asked the question, okay, so what happens afterwards? Like, he goes to Cosplay Dude storyline, he comes to my storyline, then what's next? So we came up with Power Rangers Global, which is our original take on Power Rangers, original storyline, new powers, new Zords, and all that stuff. And that was our very first thing we ever did. And we kind of decided to make a group out of it, Three Ragner Bros Studios. That's where we got the name Three Ragner Bros from. And that was, for a little while, that was the very first thing we did, was Global. I got dubbed the writer because everyone seems to like my fight scenes. Apparently I'm good at writing fight scenes. Don't ask, I don't know. You know, so Cosplay Dude made a character. Obviously we have Mark's character, the Cornish Ranger, already, and so we made a team. Cosplay Dude's son and his wife joined in to kind of fill out the groups. Now we have 5 Rangers. So yeah, it was that for a little while, and then the actual content came from Cosplay Dude wanted to go to a Comic-Con in Des Moines, where he lives, and kind of promote us a bit. And I was like, yeah, sure, but we only have an audio drama. There's not much to promote, really, is there? So we kind of all got in a conversation about like what else we can do. And then my brain likes running 180 miles an hour whilst I can barely move a mile, you know? Yeah. So like, I was like, well, give me a week. So within a week, I made the YouTube channel, I made the TikTok account, and I was like, right, boys, I have a plan. And so now, 3 years on, the YouTube channel started beginning of last year. TikTok account at the same time. And yeah, it's really cool. We've TikTok just hit over 1,000 followers, which is awesome.
Nice. Yeah.
Normally on TikTok, you'll find because there's the Three Ragner Bros, us 3, and then we have additional members. There's Billy from the Zid Hero podcast, my younger brother, he's joined in. And then we've got 2 extra boys who have kind of fan of Power Rangers and kind of join in on the content as well. So I will give them all a question. And then I use TikTok. There's a filter on TikTok that makes you look like Zordon from Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So I'm Zordon asking the question, and then I edit it all together. So like, I'll be like, I normally talk to Alpha. So like, I'll be Zordon going like, hey Alpha, ask the Three Ragner Bros and its extra members what's their favorite Red Ranger, and then I'll edit their answers in and stuff. So that's what you mostly find on TikTok, which is really cool. We've actually just started kind of like diversing off a little bit, because certain people are a fan of anime, certain people are a fan of video games and things, so I'm able to ask different types of questions which aren't Power Rangers related, which is really cool. We're now diving into like other things as well. That's really cool. But yeah, so the content really started just because we wanted to make a name for ourselves, and I was like, well, we're all geeks, we all like different things, and you know, my favorite Power Ranger season isn't theirs, you know, which is awesome. We get to you know, talk up late and do that sort of stuff. So yeah, it took a little while because we don't really show our faces much on the main YouTube channel, only because, well, you've even said it yourself, it's awkward setting up the camera and the microphone and all that sort of stuff.
There's a lot of effort.
So I like drawing. I'm not very good at it, but I do like drawing. So I drew little chibis, little like bobblehead looking characters to represent all 3 of us. So they're on screen at all times to show off who's talking and stuff. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. It's sometimes awkward because obviously I am working now with, well, technically 6 other people. And there's like time frames. Like most of us are dads. I think all of us apart from one is in a relationship. So like there's a lot of, you know, behind the scenes life that takes over. But yeah, we get it done. It's a lot of fun.
And the time zones definitely don't help. So are you mostly from the UK? Is it just
so if you count,
Dude that's in the States, or?
So if you count all the members in, including the extra members, I say we're pretty even actually, because it's me and Mark who are from the UK, my brother's from the UK, and there's 1 more, and then we've got 3 from America. So it's not 100% 50-50, but it's pretty even out. So, and we now have someone who's managing the Facebook account for us. She's in America as well. So if you count her too, then she's that, yeah, pretty much 50-50. And yeah, the time zone's not too bad. Obviously I have my own podcast and I'm used to the whole time zone thing, and I'm in every video with someone, so I don't mind the whole time zone thing. Usually it works pretty well where like some of the Americans can't really do until the weekend. I'm free the weekend. I can stay up late.
Yeah.
So if they're not free until like 7 p.m.
So,
I don't mind staying up until 1. Yeah, cool, let's go, sort of thing. It can be an issue sometimes, but it hasn't given us too much hassle, really. We're used to it
so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I find that with the podcast, I mean, with work as well, where I work, there's a lot of Europeans, and then there's a few people from the States and somebody from South Africa. So meetings during the working day are a bit of a nightmare because obviously they're 2 hours behind or 3 hours ahead. And but then with the podcast as well, we've had somebody on from New Zealand. So I think we recorded that at night. So our 8 at night was their 8 in the morning, but luckily they were available. And it is hard to kind of fit everybody in. We've had a couple of people on from the States, and again, it's just trying to work around when everybody's available, which is tough. You know,
it can be. Yeah, it definitely can be. Like, I'm pretty good friends with all the guys that are involved now, so like, you know, we talk individually and everything. I've made content with all of them at least once or twice. I game with a couple of them. Some of them are my voice actors for my audio dramas and stuff. So like I'll speak to them on a regular. So making sure when we can record and stuff is pretty easy, like for the most part. I'm not really available anyway because I've got a kid. You know, he's 7, so I'm kind of needed a lot, and so I'm not really available until after he's gone to bed. So that for them is their afternoon for my nighttime.
That works well for you.
It just works well. It kind of fits into place pretty easy. Funny enough, Mark's actually the hardest person to pin down, and he literally no word of a lie. Like, it's actually an ongoing joke of ours now that the one guy you'd think would be easy, it's actually the hardest one. It's actually easier to get Cosmic Dude, the American, to record.
Right. See, I didn't have a problem with Mark when we arranged our podcast, and
good for
happened.
you.
He just turned up, and he was on time, and you know, it was great, and yeah, there was no problems there.
It's an ongoing joke of ours now that like when it comes to sitting down and recording, I think one of the Americans sometimes has like had to reschedule a recording session, but yeah, Mark's the hardest person to pin down.
Right. Well, I'm glad you told me that now and not before we recorded. But no, it was. Can you imagine? It was. Yeah, no, I would have. Yeah.
To be fair, it's not his fault. It's like life behind the screen. You know, people don't really see a lot of like what happens. You know, once the cameras are off, and sometimes life can just kick you. You know, so that's exactly what it is. And so like, you know, I understand what's going on in the background. So like, you know, I've just said to him, look, just keep me in the loop, and if you can't record, you can't record. It's no hassle. But
yeah, it's like with our podcast guests. I mean, at the end of the day, they're doing it free. Yeah. So, and we appreciate it. So, you know, if they have to cancel, and we have a lot of actors on, and you know, obviously they're last minute work or they're traveling, or it's fine. You know, people have lives outside of things. So, you know, you've just got to move on and reschedule and hope for the best.
Yeah, like, you know, editing the videos can sometimes take me days. You know, it all depends on the video, but like, there's been times I've had to message the boys because we just have a group chat for us 3, and I'm like, boys, I can't get this video out on Tuesday. That's not happening. Like, I'm trying, but like, I gotta do this, that, and the other, and I've also made my own content on top. So like, I don't know when you expect me to do this, and the boys like, it's fine, just save it for next week. It's all good. I'm like, all right, okay, cool.
We don't have a scheduled day specifically. We used to, when we first started, we'd record on a Tuesday, and there was minimal editing, so I'd actually publish straight after recording it, because we would I'd cut the beginning, I'd cut the end, I'd put the intro on, I'd export it, have it uploaded to YouTube within the hour. But then things change, and so now we've got a backlog of about 5 or 6 recordings. Only because we don't want to publish too much. And at one point we did 8 recordings in 2 weeks, and we kind of got it was a bit crazy. It was just when people were available, because you know, when I've been emailing some people like that have been on movies and TV and things, I have to work around them. So if they say I can do next Friday, if I need to book half an hour for an hour of work, I will do that just to accommodate them being on the podcast. So yeah, and it was a few weeks ago. We ended up with 8 in 2 weeks, and now we've got this backlog still. But we don't want to publish more than 2 a week because then we're just flooding it and it gets a bit diluted. You know.
Yeah,
so,
that's kind of one of the reasons why we only upload on a Tuesday, because like some of these videos, like I think our shortest video is 10 minutes, our longest video is almost an hour, you know, and it's just us geeking out really. But like, you know, I want to make sure that it's not always the same person with me every video and things. So like, for example, my brother, he's pretty good for this, so I can give him 4 or 5 prompts in one go, and we'll binge record in a night, which means I've got 5 videos sat there waiting for me, you know. Then like
it's good
Jed,
to have a backlog.
So like one of our other extra members, Jed, he's the same. I've sat with him and gone, right, let's record 2 in one go and things. Like now at this moment in time of recording this, I've still got 5 videos to edit ready, so I've got 5 weeks worth of content, you know, which is great, you know, which also does give me a chance to, like, you know, I can look at them and go, right, I don't have a lot of time to edit, I'll use this one. Or I can go, actually, I've got so much free time this weekend, I can edit this very long video, you know, and things like that. And like, because we're also uploading on TikTok with our shorts and stuff, I normally do, I'm pretty ahead of the TikTok prompts. We normally upload 1 a day, really. I do want to see if I can push it to 2 a day, because on TikTok, the more you upload, the better, really. It works differently to YouTube. But at the minute, we're on 1 a day, and if I can move it, I will. But so, like, I've got a TikTok prompt coming out now on that the 3 Ragner Bros Studios TikTok account between now and I think it's like the 14th of July, something like that, because all of them will answer the same question. That's 1 video each, and then I've now done that rinse repeat like 5 or 6 times. So now I keep getting, I'm ahead of myself all the time. So
yeah, like, that's where you need to be, definitely.
I think the audio, because we have 2 separate YouTube channels now. We did only have 1, but we discussed it because we didn't want our audio dramas kind of getting swallowed or disappearing from the crowd with all the other normal YouTube videos we're doing. So we made the 3 Ragner Bros audio library, which is our audio drama specific channel. That took a little break at the beginning of the year because just life. Pretty much, but we agreed. I said to the boys, look, when June comes, we'll fly back into it. So we just dropped a new Marvel storyline because one of the agreements is every new storyline we do, all 3 of us have to make their own individual character. So we always have like a OC, if you will, involved, which we will voice that for them as well. Cool. That's the only content that's not every week continuous, because it takes a while to write. I'm the writer, so I've got to talk to the boys, make sure that makes sense, make sure the plot makes sense, you know, what do we want to do with this character and stuff. And then I've got to make sure that, like, you know, for example, I could send Mark his voice lines, he'll get them back to me within a week, but he hasn't said 1 word correctly or something, you know. So now I'm like, Mark, I have to redo this, you know. So like, I've got to make sure that works. So yeah, the audio dramas are now the only one that isn't continuous all the time. We do actually I am waiting for lines to return to me, for people to record their lines. So if everyone gets their lines to me in a gracious amount of time, then I'll have about 2 chapters ready to upload. So that'd be pretty good. But yeah, so it's just, it is what it is. Like I said, people have lives and stuff. So if they take a little longer to get their voice lines to me, then that's what it takes.
It sounds like quite a tough thing to do, recording the lines independently, though. Rather, you know, like, how do you know what the expression of the lines should be?
I
in the script.
Yeah, so basically I'll write out the chapter, and let's say it's Mark's character, which is obviously called Mark. I'll add his name, and before I write out the actual line itself, so I can find it easier later on, I then copy all his lines, send it to him as a separate document, but underneath each sentence, I'll add in bracket the emotion to it. So let's say I need him to be like really angry, he's like really absolutely fuming about something, I'll put in brackets, angry, comma, annoyed at blank insert whatever he's annoyed at and then end bracket, so they know for a
Right.
fact that if there's a bracket underneath their line, that's their emotion that they gotta add to it, or whatever. So I'd make sure I at least give as much info as I can, and they can always message me. My brother quite often will message me going, right, this sounds like it should be like this, am I correct? And I'll go, yeah, you're right, yeah, cool, sound like, so I don't mind them talking to me about that if they need help. That's kind of my job.
It sounds like a lengthy process for you, though, having to then put it all back together in order. That sounds like very time consuming.
It can be for sure. Because I've got 5 main rangers in a storyline. I'll use Power Rangers Global for example. I'm one of them, so that's easy. So there's 4 extra characters, and then we quite often like to kind of include the other extra members because our storyline's about mythology. The Rangers fight mythology itself. So, like, if we include a really popular god like Zeus, for example, our friend Jed, one of the extra members, his first character he played was Thor, and he had to work with Zeus, so then I had to make sure I did something with Zeus. So yeah, our Rangers fought Zeus and Thor at the same time, which was really fun. But like that's an extra voice character now that I've got to include and like edit and stuff like this. And so it can be, but I mean, I've always said if people just leave me alone and give me a couple hours, I can knuckle down and get it done. And to be fair, by the time the evening comes, my son's 7. He couldn't give 2 lights of day what I'm doing. He wants to go and do his own thing. And the missus is autistic, and whenever she's home from work, she has to do the same routine over and over again. So when she comes home, I leave her to it. I'm not getting involved. I'm not getting my head bit off because I'm getting in the way. I'll sit in the office. I will edit. Yeah, I'll sit in my office and I'll edit. So like I'll get it done. It takes a while sometimes. All depends really. Mark has this absolute diabolical idea. Like, let's say he records his lines and there's a page worth of lines. If he muddles up his lines, he won't edit that out of the voice recording. He'll keep it in, which means I'm getting a 5 to sometimes 9 minute voice, like audio, and then like I now need to listen through it and remove all the stuff I don't need. No. It's like, oh my god, dude, why? Yeah. Like, it's painful. Like, but
so do you have to like cut it down into each sentence? Right. What software do you use for that? For putting it back together again?
It depends on how they're given to me. Most of them, it's just the really easy MP3 audio. So if it's not too bad, Mark hasn't actually done what I said in a little while, to be fair. So if it's just better. It took him 3 years, but yeah, we're getting there.
Yeah, he's learning.
He's learning slowly. He's Cornish. It's all fine. So I usually just use my main video editing software, which I use something called VideoPad. It's something that I've been using for the last 10 years making content. I know how it works, so I'm not changing. I'm a bit a sucker for keeping, what I like using.
Yeah, if it works. If
it works, I'm breaking it. So yeah, it gives me the audio channel, just right in front of me, so I can find where the line's headed and stuff and just cut it out. I can have separate audio channels too, so I can have like the main audio. Let's say I'm editing Mark's one, I can have Mark's down below, and I can just put Mark's in place then where I need it to go. So yeah, like I said, it's a bit tedious, but as long as everyone delivers their lines smoothly, then I shouldn't really have much of an issue. I also make sure, because I've got 2 monitors, I make sure I have the written chapter next to me, so like I can look and see where the lines are meant to go. Yeah, make sure that I'm not like accidentally putting like cosplay dude's line where Mark should be or something, because that has happened before.
And do you listen back to the full thing before you publish it?
Yeah,
is that tedious? Because I do that with some videos, before I'll think, do I need to? So I'll sit and watch it, but I might put it on like speed 1.5 just so because having to sit through. I mean, obviously because I recorded it, I know what's happening. So do I need to sit and watch it for another hour? probably not. So,
So
yeah.
it sometimes for sure, like it depends on the chapter really. So like certain Power Ranger chapters, it is just a lot of fighting. Like you're just listening to a whole battle really. So there isn't a lot of communication. So I don't really need to make sure I haven't slipped up. But like then there's like some chapters where like so in Power Rangers Global, like I said, they're fighting mythology. The main bad guy's Loki. And there'll be whole chapters where all the characters are trying to figure out the next step of the bad plot, how they gonna deal with this. So it's all conversation, which means everyone's had like a page or two worth of lines, which means I now have to do like 8 pages worth of lines in one, and like there's so much. So yeah, those sort of times I will have to listen back to make sure I haven't like accidentally, I don't know, trimmed it too much, put it in the wrong place and stuff. And yeah, it's not fun listening to my own voice over and over again. I bore myself sometimes.
No. Yeah, that's the worst bit about it for me, is having to. The editing bit is fine; it doesn't take long, but then it's just making sure it's right before you publish.
Yeah.
And a few times I have actually published it being wrong, noticed,
yes,
had to delete it and start again. It's like, oh no. It's a disaster. But how do you find it managing more than one channel? Because I mean, I've got the Comic Con podcast YouTube channel, then I've got my own TikTok page, then I've got a Facebook account that I use for my board games. How do you find it having more than one? Is that hard work? Because it's different content for each one as well, isn't it?
Yeah, so me personally, I have quite a few channels. I do all different types of things on each one. There's a few that you could merge together and make it one separate thing, but I have ADHD, so I like all my things separate and making sure it's all different. But honestly, I think I've been doing this now I've had multiple channels now for 3 years, and it's like, this is going to sound sad, I guess, but like when I'm not having to be a dad or a partner or go to work, I content's the only real thing I'll do. Like everything I'll do goes to content, and so like I love doing this sort of stuff. Like it's my jam. So like it depends on the channel. Like certain channels I do need to put more effort in, like Three Ragner Bros Studio, so there's a lot more editing to that. But now I don't find it that much of a hassle to juggle and stuff. I like to kind of give myself a schedule each week, and so like today, for example, it's a Sunday. I don't usually have Sundays to myself. I'm normally pretty busy Sunday, but because I had Sunday, I was like, okay, let's get some gaming done. Let's record some audio dramas for myself. So that's been done and ready to go, which I normally don't get. So I was like, hey, I'm ahead of schedule this time around, and things. So yeah, it's pretty easy to be fair. I don't mind it. Cosplay dude, Mark will tell you that I just have a knack for this sort of stuff.
Yeah. I think being organized definitely helps. See, I'm not very organized. that's my downfall. I'll hold my hand up and say I'm not very organized. So when it comes to doing things, I don't have schedules. I'm busy. I've got a lot going on.
Yeah.
I run D&D on a Monday night. I run a board gaming club on a Thursday night. Kids have got clubs. I do podcasts every Tuesday night and Sunday usually. So on Friday this week as well. So I've got a lot going on. So finding time to edit and publish the content is just, if I get an hour or two here and there, I will do it. But it's tough. It's tough to squeeze it in between everything else.
One thing that I've learned as well, so like I've made quite a few friends through TikTok. I've got quite a few content creator buddies now, and like they always ask me the same question you asked me, like, how do you manage to keep all this afloat and everything? And it's just like everyone works different, like everyone is different, and that's like I keep trying to tell people, like, you're not me. Like, stop trying to be like the same as me. Run at your own pace. That's the best thing to do. And so, like, like there's been times where Mark and Costa Dude have come to me and gone, I don't know if I can like do this. I was like, well, don't then. Like, it's your content. You're the only person that can do it. So run at your own pace. Like, it's fine. And like I feel like people try to overdo it or push themselves to a direction they can't do, and it's just like there's no need. Like, run at your own pace. Like you said, doing the podcast on Tuesday seems to work for you. Cool, do that then. And like everyone just needs to calm down and just run at their own pace, because that's the best thing. You're like, there's no need to make this a chore.
Yeah. There's no point overdoing it, or you'll stop enjoying it, and if you stop enjoying it, then you won't do it anymore. So
that's exactly it. Yeah, like I've been friends with the two guys now for almost 6 years. I've been friends with them now, and quite often, one of us will say, hey, kind of struggling with this form of content, and the other two are just like, well, just don't do it then, because eventually you're going to get so burnt out, you're not going to enjoy it. So take a break, like leave it alone, all good, then that's fine. Like Cosplay Dude, I don't think he's worked on some of his audio dramas now for a couple of weeks, and I've asked him about it. He's like, I'm just not there mentally. And I'm like, cool, yeah, fine, that's awesome. Like, when you get fans and people like your content and like you for you type thing, they'll tune in when you drop it. They're not gonna be like a fan of yours all of a sudden because you're not dropping content. That's not how it works.
Exactly.
That's unrealistic. So like, it's cool. And the 300 Bros, we've done it for 300 Bros. There's been like, times where I like having a backlog of recordings, and there was a time where I was recording a video with someone and editing it within 3 days. We drop every Tuesday, and I can only record with most of them on the weekend. And I was struggling, so I said to the boys, like, we need to stop uploading for 2 or 3 weeks just so I can binge record. So then I've got a backlog again, and that's exactly what we took 2 weeks off. We didn't upload for 2 weeks, and in those 2 weeks, I recorded with everybody, and I think a couple of them actually recorded more than one video. So I ended up with like 6 to 8 backlogged videos. Like, there you go. Now I'm on a flow again, and I've made sure I kept that now. So it just, everyone works in their own pace. And anybody who asks me, any tips for making content, do what you want. Like, that's it. There's no rule book here. As long as you're doing it for the right reasons, there's no rule book. Do what you want. Your audio, your video, whatever the case may be, it's to what you're willing for it to be. Your standard. So that's it.
Exactly. So this might be a risque question, but out of all the content that you do, what is your favorite? And you don't have to upset somebody by answering this, but do you have a favorite one that you enjoy recording the most? Like, is it something quick, or do you like audio stories, or
So I started content on gaming. That's where my journey began. So I'll always
is that like video gaming, or
video games, Right. So there's a game called Injustice 2, which is a DC fighting game made by the same people who made Mortal Kombat. Cool. And it came out on the PS4, and I was so obsessed with the game, absolutely hooked. And for about 6 months straight, I would not shut up about this game. And my partner at the time and my uncle both said to me, I was like, you should just make YouTube videos because you clearly have a lot to say about it. And I was like, that's a good idea. So that was 10 years ago, and I've had a lot of hiccups along the way, but I think gaming, like, that's always going to have a place in my heart because that's where I started. And a lot of my community likes the fact that I game. 300 Bros, I think, would have to be like second, just because I enjoy hanging out with the guys. I enjoy this sort of content that we do. And then if I had to pick a third, I'd say my audio dramas, because I get to be creative, and I've always written stories. I've won competitions when I was a kid writing stories and stuff. I've always enjoyed that sort of thing. So like having people that I want to listen to the things that are coming out of my brain, it just it's fun. So I think they're like the top 3, I'd say.
That's good. See, and that went fine. There we go. You didn't upset anybody.
No, I didn't upset anybody.
No.
This is where one of the boys are now going to mess me, going, "We're not first. God damn it!
What do you mean video gaming?
What do you mean gaming's more?" I was like, okay, go dude.
It's just about what you enjoy, though. So was video gaming your first ever content that you ever recorded?
I did want to do YouTube for a long time. I grew up on YouTube. I watch more YouTube than I watch mainstream TV, to tell the truth. Or still now to this day, I'm the same. There's so many TV shows. Like, my fans will ask me, have you watched this? I'm like, no, it's on the backlog of the whole list of other things I would catch up on because I'd rather watch YouTube videos. But like, gaming was the first thing. That's kind of what got me hooked. That channel no longer exists. The first channel I had, that got the email account got hacked into, and whoever hacked into that email deleted me from existence. My Facebook, my Instagram, everything was gone. And I was on the point of being monetized as well. I just hit 1,000 subscribers, and I literally had an email from YouTube saying that I'm being reviewed for the monetization program, and that it would take like X amount of days and stuff. Within 32 hours of getting that email, lost all of it, gone. Like, yeah, oh, that was a gut punch. I actually think I think my brain just turned off for a couple of days. I went numb.
Yeah,
Like that
I bet
was
you've got two-factor authentication on everything now.
Yeah, definitely. Actually, my partner actually also helps with that too. I've now got two-step authentication, but all of her emails and phone numbers and stuff are also another step on top of it too. So if anything bad happens, I now have like 8 ways to make sure that I'm covered.
You can recover it. Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, so yeah, gaming's where I started. And I actually stayed with gaming for a very long time. I think gaming's the one thing I've always done, really, that hasn't ever changed or faltered. And I like live streaming games too. I don't just record them, I live stream them too, so people can chat with me whilst I like live stream and everything. But yeah, one of the reasons why my brother kind of joined the Three Ragner Bros, to be fair, he's one of the extra members, is because, again, Parent fan, but me and him used to game a lot together. And I thought, well, if I bring him into the fold, we'll have more gaming content to talk about and different avenues. Yeah. That's why the extra members kind of exist, to be fair, because like I wired it as they give extra opinion and flavor to the content, because like, you know, I'm actually the second youngest out of the entire group, and so like all these guys are like, you know. So Cosplay Dude's the oldest, and you know, we did a video of I want to say it was top 10 favorite cartoons. Most of his cartoons were from the 80s going into the 90s. Where my favorite cartoons, because
I've never heard of half of them.
There's at least 2 or 3, and I'm like, what was that? Like what? Like what's this?
What are you talking about?
like I was like, huh? But like we've done stuff like that, and like, you know, they're having extra people, just it makes it more interesting. It gives kind of like more like form of an opinion. So like, for example, Jonathan, he's one of our voice actors and one of the extra members. He's our third one. He's really into horror, like really into horror. He's a bit of a horror head. And like I've actually helped him with his audio dramas, because he makes audio dramas too. He does Power Ranger and horror crossovers, and it's all like gory and stuff. So it's great. That's awesome. I've actually narrated for him a couple of times, and so like when it comes to including him, we can do horror like content and like, you know, different, like we did a Mortal Kombat video a little while ago because he's really big into Mortal Kombat, so it's like, yep, cool, that works out really well. So like having these extra people, you know, because I know these people as well, I know what they're into and I know like what they're not into, so it's like we can just spruce things up and add more stuff, like our fandom pool can grow. So yeah, that works out well a lot, to be fair.
Yeah, that's good. So this was going to be a follow-up question, but you did mention you did some live recording as well. Some live recording? That's not a thing. Live streaming.
I was going to say, well, what's live recording?
Live recording, yeah. So you did some live streaming. So obviously that's very different to doing live recording that you can edit and you can make sure it's live before you upload it. Whereas with live, it's very different. How do you find that? Is it a lot of pressure, or is it you just kind of roll with it?
It depends on the platform. So on YouTube, I just play video games on YouTube. That's it. And that's pretty easy because you can't see me. You just see the game. You can hear my voice. So like I can. That's like so simple. It's unreal. Like I have the chat up, so like I can talk to people and stuff. That's really easy. I'm just playing a game. The only time I have an issue with that is when, because if let's say I'm getting my butt kicked by something on a game, I'll get annoyed at it. I don't want to get too annoyed on a live stream, you know. I want to cut, like I can't be doing that live, you know what I'm saying? So like that's annoying. On TikTok, if I go live on TikTok, I'll get like people can see me, and it's like I think the most amount of people I've had live is like 400 and something at one go. So
that's a big number.
It's a lot. I think my only issue is I can't keep up with the chat because so many people commented. It just flies up your screen, and so
plus, while you're trying to play your game as well, you're trying to focus on your game, and you've got the chat going on.
I think the worst one was I did a kind of like a milestone live stream where I was actually in cosplay. I just sat in cosplay. I was pretending to be the character as well. So like that was the highest amount of views I've ever had, and I couldn't actually keep up with the chat at all because it just went off. I actually had a couple of my moderators keep pinning comments so they stayed on screen for me to read and stuff like that. Was hectic. But yeah, it's fine. I get a lot of like negative attention. Like a lot of people seem to like slag me off and stuff. So I've got a couple of mates and my moderators. They like to tune in, just delete comments for me and stuff. But yeah, other than that, it's okay. I mean, I'm just me at the end of the day. If you don't like it, then there's the door type deal. You know,
Exactly.
So,
if you don't like it, why are you watching? Why are you wasting your time?
honestly,
Go and find something better to do. Have you got nothing better to do than just
literally,
it just
like,
makes no sense.
Like I have a Discord server now for all the like if people want to join in and stuff, and like they can like kind of like a Discord community. And the amount of times people have just joined to slag me off, and I'm like, you do realize I have 18 moderators here that will just kick you out the second you comment something. Why are you wasting your time? Like, bro, like it's a bit mad. Definitely. Yeah, it's like so like with because my TikTok account and the 300 Bro TikTok are two separate things. Once they get banned from my TikTok account, they go to the 300 Bro one and try hassle like me there. That's quite funny. So we're actually building up to something in August. So I kind of had a fun idea to kind of add some form of like a narrative to our main YouTube videos. So like I said, on TikTok, there's a Zordon filter that you can use, which I use. So I found out that in my editing software, I can invert the colors. So it changes everything from black, gray, and blue to like yellow, white, and something else. So we started this little fun thing where Zordon's being hacked by something, and so I get to have some fun with it. I get to record the Zordon section where I'm like, hey Alpha, tell the 300 Bros, and then once I've done the question, I'll do something a bit more evil, a bit more demonic, and this entities hijacking the 3 Ranger Bros, if you will. And I get to have some fun with that. I edit my voice as well, so I sound a bit more creepy. And we're doing a so every single TikTok has a white and yellow Zordon kind of hijacking the video at some point, and it's threatening the 300 Bros. They threatened me. They're threatening the content and everything. They're going to hijack us basically. And so the plan is that in August, I've already made the trailer for it too. In August, I get locked out of the 300 Bro system, and everyone else gets locked in, kind of like the Matrix type thing. And so all 4 videos in August are going to be about villains and evil, like the bad guys.
Cool.
So like the first one we've done is me and Cosplay Dude. One of our favorite games called Kingdom Hearts, and in Kingdom Hearts there's a whole squad of bad guys called Organization 13. So we rated all of the Organization 13 weapons out of 5 each, so overall 10. And so like one of our mine and Mark's is going to be top 3 most evil alien species within fiction and stuff like that. So it's all about the bad guys. And so we're being hijacked, but throughout all the videos, we're gonna have kind of like a dramatic kind of like kind of like interlude in between where I'm trying to hide, I'm trying to get back into it. So like Cosplay Dude did a thing where he cosplays Nightwing from DC. He's in Nightwing cosplay, he's being Nightwing, and he's like, hey, Batgirl made this hacking computer program for you, so I'm magically gonna get gifted a USB stick that I'll plug into my PC over so dramatically, and I'm trying to get back in. So because we started off with this, like, I don't know, I'm just editing the Zordon filter, that's all I've done, but because we've created this character, one of our friends left a comment going, is something wrong with Zordon? So I took that. I was like, I'm gonna play around with this. So I recorded myself.
Run with it.
I recorded myself. I looked at the comment. I was like, something wrong with Zordon. I purposely put my keyboard underneath my phone, which is on a tripod, so you can hear me typing. I'm like, I don't see an issue. Let me pull up the Zordon program. Added the filter, and I'm like, nah, see, nothing wrong. And then right at the end, it tunes back into the filtered one, and it's like, I'm watching you, by the way. Like, all evil. The amount of hate comments that video got was
really.
Everyone telling me to grow up, that I'm being childish. I'm like, we're just having fun, man.
Who
like,
cares?
What is your problem? So
if you don't like it, scroll on.
Yeah, exactly. It's like, so anytime that like I block someone on my TikTok account, they'll go to that and instantly like bully me for
And
that.
have it-
And I'm like,
oh,
we're just having fun, man. Like, back off
Yeah.
it. I found on TikTok as well, there's a grandpa filter that makes you look like a really old, like 80-year-old dude.
oh yes, yeah.
I'm really tempted to make a new character called the Three Ragner Bro Grandpa and have him in videos. I thought that
Yeah.
was kind of fun, you know.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
like people just, I don't know, they just can't accept the fact that people just having fun, I guess.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know, people like
exactly.
something wrong with people. But yeah, so
Yeah.
we're calling it the 300 Bros Autumn of Villainy. That's what the little series is going to be called. 4 different videos,
Cool.
4 different members, 4 things about villains, and then at the end of the last one, I'll hijack back in and save everybody. That's kind of the plan.
Right.
But yeah,
That's
so
spoilers for August then.
yeah, basically. But yeah, because I'm playing around with a filter that's from a TV show for kids, like in the 90s. Apparently, I'm not allowed to do that. Apparently, that's absolutely disgraceful to the rest of society.
Right. You're too old to be doing that, are you?
Yeah, you know, yeah, absolutely.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
That's
absolutely terrible. No, like it's not like, you know, Power Rangers has fans who grew up with Mighty Morphin Power Rangers from the 90s.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
like I actually met Amy Jo Johnson and Billy and David Jost, the blue and pink Mighty Morphin Power Ranger actors, and the line for the Pink Ranger, I think I was the youngest guy there. And it was a very, there was easily over 100 people, and I think I was the youngest guy there.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and people tell me off for being like tell me to grow up because of Power Rangers. Have you seen this line? Like, it's mad.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. It's I watch a lot of Lee Francis, you know, yeah, Keith Lemon and Bo Selector and that Lee Francis. So I watch a lot of him. He's got a podcast out, and he is a massive nerd. He's about my age, he's about 50, and he collects a lot of toys. He's got all the toy figures from all the old, he loves 80s stuff, so he's got like all the Gremlins figures and you know, all the Ghostbusters figures and Spider-Man and all these his figures. And he often brings it up, you know, he says, and why people are bothered about what I'm doing. Why am I collecting toys? Why is a 50-year-old man collecting toys? It's like, it's what he enjoys, you know. So
yeah.
So who cares? You know, you might want to watch a bunch of guys run around the field kicking a leather sack around. You know, that's football apparently. You know, you might want to enjoy doing that. I'd rather not. I'd rather just sit and collect some figures. Or, you know, he does cosplay. He does a lot of cosplaying, and it's like, if you enjoy it, what does it matter?
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. It's
really
like
doesn't.
The reason why we decided to add kind of like a flair to it for August is because me and Costa did drama in school, and we both really enjoyed drama. And like we discussed it. We were like, let's do something fun. Like, it's only a month, you know. Like, hey, grad.
Yeah.
You know, we are leading up to it, so that's just why I'm adding the filter in now. But it's just some fun. It's like you're getting a month worth of different type of content, you know, with some narrative to it. It's the same usual videos, but there's some narrative behind them now for 4 weeks. That's all it is. And it's just like, why I don't understand why we can't just be left alone. But yeah, I think every day my block list on TikTok grows. Like, it's ridiculous. People seem to like also screenshotting my face and putting it in my own comment section.
That's
right. Yeah, no, honestly, I don't know. Every single day I'm deleting at least 50 comments of my face.
Wow.
And it's like, you do realize I have to stare at myself when I record a video. Like, I don't need to see myself in my comment section.
I take it as a compliment that they've taken the time to actually do the screenshot and then upload it in the comments.
Yeah,
because I don't get anything like that. You know, so take it as a compliment.
Like, no, I have said to a few of them, I'm like, oh, she found me good looking. Cheers.
Yeah, exactly. And that screenshot is probably still on their phone to this
day.
day.
More than likely, mate. Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me.
Yeah. Amazing. So, do you do a lot of Comic Cons? I know you said you'd been to one to meet Power Rangers. So do you do a few?
I've only been to 3, sadly. So my first one was in 2024. I actually met Mark there. That was the first time I met him in person.
Was that the Wales? Was that in Wales by any chance?
No, that was the Exeter one that I met him for the first time. It was one in Exeter. Which that one I've been to now twice. We enjoyed that one a lot because the missus comes with. She enjoys that Comic-Con too. The Newport one, the Wales one, that's the one where I met the 2 Power Ranger actors, and I also met the actor for Arrow from the Arrow show. That was really cool. That one was hard. That one was really difficult. It was very hectic. But that one had a lot of celebrities there. There was so many celebrities you could meet there. Where the X one
was that the
isn't so
Monopoly
much.
one with it?
Yeah, so like there was. Oh, I'm trying to think. I think there was actually a celebrity for almost everything. There was voice actors. There was like gaming voice actors for anime and gaming. There was actual actors there. There was, I think, at least like one person from a soap opera or something like that. Like there was literally there was something for everybody, sort of thing. The one in Exeter's more a gaming convention than anything else. All the stores aimed for gamers and like that type of geek like sort of thing. So like that one's a little bit more easier to kind of move around. There's not so like hectic, but the cosplaying in both Comic Cons have been great. I've always enjoyed the cosplay communities in Comic Cons. I think they're awesome. There's been some absolutely phenomenal cosplays that I've like taken pictures with and stuff before. Some of them like to almost absolute detail is great. I do wish to go to more Comic Cons. It turns out I'm from Plymouth originally, and it turns out there's actually a Plymouth Comic Con. My brother really wants to go to his first Comic Con, so like I have been talking to him about maybe at some point I can align myself with going to go see family in Plymouth to also going to Plymouth Comic Con and taking him with. Maybe so I can go to a different one. My biggest issue is I live in the middle of Wales. I live in the middle of nowhere. Like my next door neighbors are farm fields. My next door neighbors are farm fields and mountains. I live in the middle of nowhere.
Nice.
Like
it sounds great, but not great for Comic Cons.
It's peaceful. That's the best thing. Like nothing ever happens here. Like the most drama we've ever had. I've lived in this house for 3 years. The most drama I've ever had is a police car stopped some random person driving past for 20 minutes. And that was a year ago. And that's the most drama we've had in the last 3 years.
Wow.
We don't even know any information. Just a police car. Like, it's so peaceful. But like to get anywhere, it's a lot. Like the closest city from me is like almost an hour and a half away. Like the closest town to me is a 30-minute drive. So like anything like that is a bit of a trek. That's our biggest issue. So like we need to like make sure that we either can stay there the night, like in a hotel or something, or it's not too far away that the missus don't mind driving back because she's the driver in the house. But I do want to do more Comic Cons. I enjoy Comic Con a lot. I think it's really cool. There's no judgment there. I think that's my favorite thing as well. It's like there's no judgment at all. That actually the very first time I got spotted. The second time I got spotted was actually in a Comic Con because the last time we went to Comic Con was Exeter again, and I actually had someone recognize me in the Comic Con, which was a bit weird.
Wow, that was brilliant.
I've been noticed a couple of times now. Actually, the other day I actually got noticed and had my first picture taken with someone. That was pretty cool.
Where was that? In just around your town?
Literally, the missus wasn't here for the weekend. She went to go see her family, and my son's over his mum's every weekend. My mate goes, "Hey, do you want to go to the cinema and grab some McDonald's or something?" I was like, "Yes, mate, let's go." So we're just in the queue at McDonald's, just waiting to get food. And a young lad came up to me and went, "Your tie on TikTok?" I was like, "Yes, mate." He's like, "Can I get a picture?" I was like, "Yes, mate, crack on." It just like it was pretty cool. My favorite interaction to this day was a couple of weeks ago during the half term. We take my son to our favorite town around because we like the shops there, and we're walking, absolutely gorgeous. It's sunny. We're walking around town, and a car drives past. Window rolls down. A woman pokes her head out the window, just screams at the top of her lungs, "I love your TikToks," making all three of us jump out of our living skins. We actually hop across the pathway because of the amount of screaming she did, and then they just drove off. And I was like, "Thanks."
Yes.
like
please, not so loud next time.
Like my son stood there like, "Dad, do we know this random woman?" I was like, "No, we don't." Like it was all three of us catted ourselves. Brilliant. That was great. That's my favorite one so far. That was gold. Yeah, that was funny.
That's great. Well, I mean, it must be good to have so many followers, and especially over all the different platforms that you've got and the different channels. Sounds like hard work.
Slowly getting there. YouTube's always a hassle trying to get subscribers on YouTube. Unless if you're doing something really big and outlandish like Mr. Beast or something, then it's a drag. But it's fun. Like I can live stream on my live streaming channel, and I have about 5, maybe 6 like regular dudes who'll come and chat with me and hang out with me. You know, that's always cool. And like I said, I got a Discord server now. I think we're almost at 200 members in my Discord server.
Nice.
So like, you know, that's always cool. And then the Three Ragner Bros always like we get a lot of attention on there too. The TikToks do pretty well. Like I said, just hit 1,000 followers on that. The YouTube channel's almost at 200. I think we're like 196 subscribers, I believe.
So close.
And then Audio Library, the second one, that takes a little while. But again, we don't upload continuously on that because the amount of editing and stuff. But that's only on 35, 36, something like that. So it to me, it's not about like the numbers. It's always just about like, you know, the community itself. So like, even though some of my channels only have less than 100 subscribers, the people that watch it are the same people that want to come by and come like, you know, make a chat at the comment section, and like that's cool. I like that. That's cool.
Exactly. That's why you do it. Yeah.
Yep.
So if somebody wants to find all of these channels that you've got, is there somewhere they can go? Is there, have you got your usernames for all of your channels?
So the best thing to do if you want to find the Three Ragner Bros stuff, especially, is my Linktree, which is linktree/Tai Tiger 777. There you'll find all my content. You'll find the Three Ragner Bros, which has its own section, TikTok, YouTube channels, or the Facebook page is now on there too. You'll find my Discord server, which people can join. My podcast, everything like that. Yeah, that's the best place to look for, is the Linktree, because everything I do is linked in that Linktree. Excellent.
So I'll put a link to that in this video. So if you're watching this, go to the comment section, well, the description below. You'll find a link to his Linktree. Linktree is the best place to go because everything's in one place. So.
I never knew about Linktree. I found about Linktree about 1.5 years ago when one of my content buddies showed me. I was like, you can put all your links in one place? What is this? And I was like, oh my God, I'm making a Linktree. And like, it's a lifesaver. Absolutely. Love Linktree.
Especially for you with all the channels that you've got. Because it sounds like you've got quite a lot.
Well, it's like at the very bottom of my Linktree, I've got a little tab for like the content that I don't make, but I've been a part of. Like I've been a guest on other podcasts. I'll link this as well there now too. And it's just like I got a section for that, you know, and like, you know, I've got a section for gaming, only gaming stuff. The Three Ragner Bros has its own section, so like you can tab each thing as well, which is great. Yeah, Linktree is awesome. If you ever need a Linktree, do it. It's a great website to use.
Yeah, I should probably get myself on at some point, but it's a job for tomorrow.
That's what he's going to say tomorrow.
Yes, exactly. But you know, maybe one day. But that just about brings us to the end of the podcast. Thank you so much for joining us. It's been really interesting. It's great to get to speak to somebody who can who does podcast editing as well, because you know,
I understand
a lot of people, but the whole podcast thing is there's a lot. You could do a whole podcast just on podcasts because
absolutely
there's so much involved.
I absolutely agree.
Yeah, but we will have you back on to speak about one of your other lines of business, maybe the cosplaying, or we'll see. We'll see.
Brilliant.
We'll get you back on at some point, and we might one day we might even get the Three Ragner Bros on together.
That would be golden.
If Mark's available.
Yeah, if Mark can,
if Mark can make it, and if we can, get cosplay down as well, But it's been a pleasure speaking to you. Really enjoyed it.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
All the best for your content, and hopefully we'll pick up a few new subscribers from this video.
Awesome, I appreciate it.
Cheers. Thank you very much.